Once upon a time, Lord Krishna and Arjun were walking through a quiet village. As they walked, they saw a beggar sitting on the roadside, begging for money. Arjun felt curious and asked him, "Why are you begging?" The beggar replied sadly, "I have no money. That's why I beg." Feeling pity, Arjun took out a jar full of gold coins and gave it to the beggar. He said, "Take this. Don't beg again. Use it to live a good life." The beggar became very happy and started walking back home. But on the way, a robber noticed the jar and attacked him. The robber stole all the gold coins, leaving the beggar helpless again. The next day, the beggar was back on the street begging. A few days later, Krishna and Arjun passed through the same road and were surprised to see the beggar still begging. Arjun asked, "Why are you begging again? I gave you a jar of gold coins." The beggar replied, "A robber stole everything. I lost all the gold." Feeling sorry once more, Arjun took out a very precious diamond and gave it to him. He said, "Sell this diamond and live happily." The beggar carefully kept the diamond in an earthen pot at home and went to sleep. But the next morning, his wife took the same pot to the lake to fill water. She dipped it into the lake, and the diamond slipped out and fell into the water without her knowing. Once again, the beggar lost everything and went back to begging. Later, Krishna and Arjun met him again. This time, Krishna asked, "Why are you begging now?" The beggar sighed and said, "I lost the diamond too." Krishna smiled kindly and took out a small coin, just 10 rupees. He placed it in the beggar's hand and said, "Take this. Do whatever good you can with it." The beggar nodded and started walking home. On the way, he saw a fisherman catching fish at the lake. One fish was struggling and fighting for life. Moved by compassion, the beggar gave his only 10 rupees to the fisherman and asked to save the fish. When he picked up the fish to release it into the lake, the fish suddenly spat out something shiny. It was the same diamond he had lost. The beggar shouted with joy, "I found it! I got it!" At that moment, the same robber who had stolen from him earlier was passing by. Hearing the beggar shout, "I got him!" he thought the beggar had caught him. Scared, the robber ran to him, returned all the gold coins, and begged him not to scream. The beggar stood shocked, holding both his gold and his diamond again. Krishna, watching everything, smiled and turned to Arjun. He said, "Arjun, when you gave him gold and a diamond, he only thought of himself. But when I gave him just 10 rupees, he used it to help another living being. That is why everything returned to him. Selfless actions always bring blessings." And with this beautiful lesson, Krishna and Arjun continued their journey, leaving behind a beggar who finally understood the true power of kindness.